Hello, Gemini. Hello, hello, my gems. This is your bonus birthday reading for, excuse me, I'm still getting used to my hair. This is your bonus birthday reading for 2023. So it is your season, Gemini. And as one of my perks here at the channel, everybody gets a bonus birthday reading. So what this is any advice. Anything at all. It could be advice. It could be a foreshadowing. It could be anything that the universe, any message that the universe has for you for your birthday year. Your birthday, your solar return, your in the beginning or the ending of the last trip and around the sun, and your new year moving forward is exactly that. It is your personal new year. Your birthday is your personal new year. Just like at the beginning of the year when people start to reflect and people start to make resolutions and say what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. So this reading is anything that the universe, God, source, spirit needs you to know regarding your upcoming year. It could be anything, and I don't know. It could be advice. It could be clarity. It could be predictions. It could be anything. All right. So you're the first thing that I'm doing this evening. So I will be calling spirit now. Spirits of the ancestors, gods and goddesses, guardians and watchers. Please be here to deliver a positive and accurate message for all those who come here seeking wisdom and knowledge of us this evening. Only the spirits that I call here and mean it's the greatest and highest of good are welcome here. Please protect us from evil and negativity. Guide us toward love and light, healing, prosperity, abundance, and clarity. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and get into your energies. I will be using the Good Tarot, which is what I use to read when I am pulling messages from spirit. And then I will pull any oracle cards that I feel may be needed in addition to your general message. So let's go ahead and get into your energies, Gemini. No rising or Venus, like we always say, normally just Gemini. This is Gemini's sun sign. Gemini's sun sign reading for your birthday. Happy birthday, Geminis. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. All right, Gemini, let's see what you got. All right. And the overall energy is the Ace of Fire, which is the Ace of Wands in other decks. So that's going to talk about working on yourself, self-work, shadow work, correcting you, fixing you, working on you, improving you, pampering you, doing for you, focusing on you, you, working on yourself, working on yourself. Okay, this is beautiful. We have the 10 of coins. We have the 10 of water, 10 of air, of cups, the 9 of fire, which is the 9 of wands, the 5 of air, which is the 5 of swords, the queen of air, which is the queen of swords, and the moon card, which is Pisces energy, and it talks about feelings being hidden, things below the surface, and that cannot be seen, things done at night, done in the dark, moon card, things being hidden. Okay, so, and emotions, specifically emotions being hidden. Okay, let's see, let's look. Where's my solenoid? Let us have a looky-see. Give me a minute to study your cards. We have the Ten of Earth, Ten of Water, and the Nine of Wands. The Five of Swords, the Queen of Air, and the Moon card. Okay. So, it looks as though, let me clarify a little bit. Let me get light seers. Use light seers. But it looks as though you're being told not to bite your tongue. You are being told to speak on what it is you've been through and how you feel about it. The 10 of coins, the 10 of earth, and the 10 of water, the 10 of cups, that's in reference to love. That's in reference to love and having a family attached to that love and that happy house, happy spouse energy, just love and commitment and the white picket fence type of future that everyone says that you should have, when really it should be normalized and okay for people not to have that. It should not be so glorified that we as people feel a lack thereof, or as if it's a, what's the proper word to use there? As if it is a requirement to qualify for having had success or a fulfilling life. If you get what I'm saying. It's like everybody does it. It needs to be normal for it to be okay that to have a successful life, or to be considered to have had a successful and fulfilling life without those things, without the house, the car, the white picket fence, the children, the wife or the spouse, the husband, and the kids. It's okay to, and it's possible, absolutely possible, to have a fulfilling life without all of that, without the picture of perfection. It is perfectly acceptable and doable and possible to still be happy, to still be secure, to still be safe, to still be successful, and to still be fulfilled without having those things in your life. So the Nine of Wands is here, the Nine of Fire. That talks about putting things behind you, putting the worst behind you. The worst is over. That is something that you put behind you and moved on from. So for some of you, you may have tried that type of life and it didn't work out for you. And for others of you, you may be feeling like you need that type of life when really you do not. It is not an absolute or a requirement for fulfillment, happiness, and success. All right, give me the Nine of Fire. And that's clarified by the Four of Pentacles, right, and the Death Rebirth card, and the Four of Swords. Because sometimes when we hold on to the narrative of what we think we're supposed to have, and what we think our society says is supposed to occur or happen, when we let go of those narratives, then we can move on and be happy. It's like a woman who doesn't have a child, and the world is saying you should have a kid, you won't be happy, you won't feel fulfilled, you should have a child, maybe she doesn't want one. And it is okay to have a life without being a mom or being a parent, and it is okay, and it is not life ending because you don't. And you can still be happy and fulfilled and successful. You can even have a spouse and no children. You agree that that's not something you want, or that's not doable, or one or both of you don't want to or cannot, for whatever reason, have children. And it can give you a lot of peace especially if you're someone who, for instance, may have a fertility issue or a medical problem and you can't have a child. It may give you some peace to let go of the feeling or the energy or the connotation that you have to have this in order to be happy. To let go of, to wake up one day and say, you know what? I don't need to be married to be happy. I don't need to have a family to be a whole family, because you do have family still, but to have an immediate spouse, kids, dog, car, cat type of family, in order to be happy. I don't have to have a marriage to be happy. I don't have to have another person in my life in order to be happy. I can fill my life with other things. I can be successful and considered successful. I can be fulfilled and be at peace. And sometimes to have this revelation that it's okay. It is okay. It's okay for me to be in my house by myself. It is okay for me to live my life on my own. It is okay for me to embrace friends and create the family or rely on other family to give me fulfillment, to go pick up a niece, a nephew, or a cousin's child and spend time with you. You're not losing anything. Hell, you can grab somebody and co-parent. Because trust me, there's plenty of single moms. I promise there's one in your family, and it may be a cousin or another sister or brother or somebody who you can go and, hey, you need some help raising that child? And who says no? You know what I mean? That type of energy. Yeah, sure. You want weekends? You know what I mean? There's other ways to compensate. I love my sister with all my heart and soul, but she's not a mom yet. And she has health issues and medical problems, physical issues, to where she's not sure if she'll be able to ever have or birth her own child. However, I have 5 children, and when I tell you, I could not have gotten through it without her. I could not have gotten through it without her. So on Mother's Day, I don't leave her out. I call her and I say, thank you, because you damn sure helped me, Mother. My daughters and my kids talk about how that their aunt is pivotal in their life, and they remember her being there to help watch them and take care of them. And so you can still parent and have a family and all types of other things in many different ways. Even if you don't have any blood family, you can build a soul family and still parent people. Okay? So, because you can take people under your wing, and people have needs, and people need to, there's lots of ways to build a family and have a fulfilling life. And it doesn't have to be the traditional house, minivan, SUV, 2.5 kids, the cat, the dog, the bird, and the picket fence. It doesn't have to be that. And so sometimes letting go of that narrative can give you the peace that you need in order to be happy. I want to say you had a similar issue for your birthday read last year. I believe it was a very similar issue, a very similar topic. So it may be a letting go of it or changing your feelings toward it, or the feeling that you need that, and realizing and having the revelation that you don't, can be renewing. It can be refreshing. 4 Swords. It can give you that peace of mind and the clarity that you need to see, you know what? I can be happy anyway. I don't have to have that. And it can give you that comfort to go get up every day and go on and find other joyful things to do. Because trust me, there are things that you could do. I just met someone who has no children and is my age. And he is so well traveled. And because he didn't have anything, but I couldn't travel and have to drag 5 children with me or find somebody to watch 5 children while I traveled. Understood? And so now that I'm older, it's something that I want to embark in and go on with in my life. But I wore myself out so bad having the 5 and raising the 5 children that I have back issues and knee issues. And I am going to get to the point where I'm traveling and doing and moving as I please, but I'm still helping with grandchildren. So there are so many other freedoms that can and are afforded to you And so many days I sit here and be like, I should have never had damn children. It was the worst mistake and choice I ever. It wasn't a mistake, but it was not the greatest choice, honestly. And it should also be okay to say that. Sometimes people, we have children and then we realize, oh shit, I don't like this. Huh. But it's too late now because they're here. And you can't just give away a 7-year-old. Except that would be horrible to do to a person. And so it also needs to be normal. And my kids got upset with me at a point because I said, not that I didn't or shouldn't have had them, but I should have waited till later in my life when I was more settled to have them. It's but things happen and occur the way they're meant to happen. And mothers and families and fathers, and especially fathers, are really frowned upon if they say, you know what, I didn't want to have children, but it happened. I didn't want to do this, but it happened. Or I did this and I don't like it so much. This is horrible. This is the worst experience. Being a mother was a horrible experience for me. And it needs to be normalized for people to express and say these things. So, with the 5 of Swords here, which is the other card that I wanted to clarified by, once again, you double down on your Queen of Air, Queen of Swords energy, and the Knight of Wands and the Strength card. Right there, you can find plenty of other things that you are passionate about. You can find plenty of other ways to fill your life. The Moon card clarified by the 10 of Wands and the 7 of Swords. And one of those ways, or one of those and the Empress card, one of those things that is a privilege that comes along with not having anyone to worry about what you say or what you do. I mean, this may sound, I don't care how it sounds, but to some of you it's going to sound like ill growth. But I had several people, have had in my lifetime, several people on multiple occasions approach me to like do porn or be a naked or half naked model or lingerie model and things of that nature. And why I said no, because that's big money. And the reason that I said no was because I have children. And the last thing I would have wanted was for my kids to be in high school and somebody to come to school and say, hey, I seen your mama on Pornhub. You know what I'm saying? You have the freedom to have to watch with you. When I said that I did not care for motherhood and I should have waited, I said so on a call-in radio show where it was Michael Baisden. If you've ever heard of him, it was Michael Baisden back when he had his regular radio show and not his, because now he does it, but he does it on like satellite radio. He's got a channel or a show or whatever. And so he still does it, but he used to do it on regular radio. And so basically, he was on Radio 1. And basically, the topic was having children or not to have children, or if you could change it, or what do you regret? And I called in and basically I explained why I had regrets as far as having had children so young and that I should have waited, and what it took from me and what people really should have said to me in reference to having children to prevent me or deter me from doing so at a young age. And my children heard that. And they got very upset that you didn't want us, you don't love us. And that's not what I was saying, but they misunderstood. But what it gives you also is the freedom to do and say whatever the fuck you do and want to do and say. Without having to worry about, my kids, classmates saw me on Pornhub, or they saw that conversation, or heard that. Look at the flack that Cardi B gets for her music and what she had to turn. You shouldn't make that type of music. There are children out here. You have to, as a parent, control what your children watch. But like she said, my daughter doesn't listen to my music. It's not for kids. But there's still that flack for what you get. And they say, well, you're a mom. You shouldn't do. See? But one day, her daughter is going to grow up, and she is going to hear wet ass. on the radio and saying, "Well, Ma, you made this song," and Cardi's gonna have to answer to that little girl. And so, not having children does give you a freedom. You have to count the blessings in what you didn't do, and the things that the road that life sent you on. You have to count the blessings. It's not just a negative that you don't have a family, or you don't have kids, or you don't have that white picket fence, happy house, happy spouse in your life type of energy or life. There are minuses and pluses to every situation that you will encounter in life. And it needs to be normal for people to accept that that's not the only way to be happy. So, and then the cards here are expressing that you need not bite your tongue. When people say those stupid things, well, when are you going to find out there's that aunt or that grandma to get you on Thanksgiving dinner and be like, when are you going to have some children? When are you going to find a wife? When are you going to find a husband? Or if you're a couple, when are y'all going to have a kid? You might not want to have a kid. You might enjoy backpacking and climbing mountains, and you can't take a toddler with you. You might like your life the way it is, and you need to stop biting your tongue about it. Respectfully tell grandma or auntie, I'm not having any children. I'm enjoying my life as it is. I don't want to get married. People have too much baggage and luggage. It's a headache. I don't want to. You start expressing yourself. Start speaking on how you feel. Start being honest with it, because when you listen to, and then they'll stop. Because when you have to hear those narratives constantly, it makes you question and it makes you doubt. And you have to get in an energy of not doing that and not allowing people to do that to you, because you're not a victim and you have no reason to feel guilty or bad or like you're missing out on something because you don't have or didn't do what everybody else did. Because I'm going to tell you something. I've been married twice and it didn't go well for me either damn time. You're really not missing shit. And children are loud and messy and bad. Love you, Gemini. Let's do, I have a new Oracle deck, so I've been sticking with it. So let's do an Oracle of Dreams card for you. Let's do an Oracle of Dreams card for you, Gemini, because I believe that, yes, last year your message was quite similar, Gemini. It was very similar. So whatever it is, and it doesn't have to be having a family. It could be the opposite. You could have a family and be okay with that, and be a stay-at-home mom, and people, and you're looking at friends that have careers and spin it however you need to spin it. Whatever your current life circumstance is. Embrace it, be thankful for it, find happiness and fulfillment in it, and tell anybody who has anything else to say about it, or who has anything negative or encouraging to say about it, to kiss your boo tate. That's what you do. All right? Because some people are going to have something negative to say, no matter what you do or how you live your life. So you might as well ride it till the wheels fall off in whatever kind of car you feel comfortable in. Okay? All right. So 2 came out here for you, and it's your birthday. So I'm going to read both of them for you. I'm going to let you have them both, because that's a thing. All right, so we'll start with the lowest number card, which is number 9. Support in bearing the weight of others. Support. This card represents the offering of strength and assistance and bearing a burden on behalf of others. Providing support can take many forms: moral, emotional, physical, and financial. We can offer our shoulders to bear the weight or lend an ear to share grief. Here, a jester offers his shoulders on which the girl can perform. He raises her up, allowing her to be the focus of the audience's attention. His subdued posture, deliberately taking second place, his identity hidden. He provides an anonymous contribution. In the background are 3 tarot strength cards, which serve as props and reaffirm this card's message. While the effort and gesture is a noble one, there are times when we should come out of the shadows and take credit for our contributions. You do not always have to settle for being second fiddle. Be careful not to allow others to take advantage of your generosity. Okay, you are no less than anyone else because you don't have this or you didn't do that or you heard? You heard. All right, the next one is one of those ones that didn't print, so I don't have the title. I need to write it in. I'm gonna go through. I have it in my phone, this book in my phone. I'm gonna go through and write it in. Okay, so 46, a woman sits on a bridge, a physical and metaphysical connecting point between here and there. Her identity is initially concealed, not only to us, but also herself. She is, in essence, finding her true self. She reaches out to gather pieces of a puzzle, and with each one finds clues and discovers more about herself. Each of us attempts to make sense of our place as we search for connections and relationships with others. Gradually, despite failures and experimentation along the way, an image starts to take form, increasing clarity, and manifests itself from the initial confusion. The process is self-reinforcing and often becomes easier and accelerates as more pieces are added, each finding their corresponding place. Eventually, a point is reached where everything comes into focus and starts to make more sense. So as you go on and as you get older and as you begin to do this self-work, this shadow work, this Ace of Wands energy here, because that's what this represents, you have these experiences and you learn new lessons and go through trials and tribulations. You learn and find more of yourself. And trust me, when you have to deal with things on your own and unto yourself, and you don't have to worry about others and what other people think and how other people think and feel and move, it's a lot easier to put those pieces of the puzzle that is you together. Okay? So work on yourself, love on yourself, focus on yourself, and do not feel less than for anything else that anybody suggests that you should. Get it? I hope you got it. I love you, Gemini. This is a pretty awesome and encouraging birthday read, very similar to last year's. And so I see you may be dealing with the same issues, which is good because that means that I'm resonating with somebody out there. So thank you very much for being here. Happy birthday to you, Gemini. Enjoy your birthday season and live your life to the fullest, whatever kind of life you have. Like I said, ride it till the wheels fall off and in whatever type of vehicle fits you. All right? And be unapologetic about it. Tell the world to kiss your bootate. All right. I love you, Gemini. Happy birthday. Bye. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Bye.